Hi there, welcome to Ask the Chiropractor, your source for health, healing, and chiropractic information. We're back with our guest again, Dr. Kevin Krieger.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Rodnick.
Great to have you here. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about sports and chiropractic. I know that you're a big-time athlete, Dr. Krieger.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I've had a long stint with athletics. It certainly paid for my undergraduate, and it has given me an opportunity to just meet some fantastic people out there and really learn how far I can push my body, which I think is a great learning throughout my life.
So how has chiropractic care itself affected your performance as an athlete?
100% for the better. I can certainly say that when I got out of college basketball and football at Hillsdale College, I wasn't feeling 22 years old. And got back in touch with my chiropractor, really rebuilt my body and really my mind for that matter. Ended up heading down to chiropractic school, picked up rugby pretty late in life. And by the time I graduated chiropractic school at the age of 27, I was feeling better than I was at 22, just because of the care I was getting down there.
And even recently, you've ascended your rugby career and got into some championship games, huh? Yeah,
I really felt when I got done with chiropractic school that would be something that was a thing of the past, but I really thoroughly enjoy athletics, and chiropractic has given me the opportunity to continue that. And when I came here to Detroit, there was a fabulous rugby team. I got to play with one of my students that I started first quarter with down at Life University and graduated with, and we got to play together, and it was just a great season. We ended up taking 4th in the nation with the Detroit Tradesmen, which we're very proud of that season, and I got to see all my old friends because Life University made the Final Four and even ended up winning a national championship this year.
What a coincidence. The chiropractic school's team, we're all obviously under chiropractic care.
Well, when you're playing back-to-back days, 80 minutes, 15 people on the field, 6 subs, 9 of those people have to play the entire game. You can only put 26 people on the roster. So when you show up day 2 and have to play back-to-back days, chiropractic really comes into play. And I think it really contributed to their national championship this year. They really looked good the next day, the day 2 in the tournament. They looked fresh, they looked fit, and I think it's because they got adjusted, they know the nutrition, and they know how to recuperate the body in such a short duration.
And we're even looking at now, most professional teams all have a team chiropractor.
Absolutely. The Lions have a chiropractor, the Tigers have a chiropractor, the Pistons have a chiropractor, and I think you'd find that everywhere in the NBA, MLB, and in the NFL as well.
Because it's known now, keeping the spine in proper alignment is going to increase the body's performance, the amount of performance that we can get out of our own body.
Absolutely, and those athletes know it. They're earning a paycheck based on how their performance of their body does on a given Sunday or Saturday, and they want to be playing at their best, and chiropractic helps them do that, most certainly.
No question about it. I know you've actually taken care of some semi-pro and some pro athletes yourself.
Absolutely, I've had an opportunity. I think people feel pretty comfortable with me because I have such a big sports background. One of the first people I adjusted and learned to adjust really was through Dr. Perry Moss out of Northeastern. He was Bill Calhoun's first All-American before he had been to UConn. Perry ended up playing with Dr. J and Mo Cheeks and Charles Barkley for the Philadelphia 76ers. He's a great friend of mine and really taught me the foundations of adjusting, and it's gone a long way.
I've myself taken care of quite a few professional golfers and quite a few fighters in the mixed martial arts. A lot of times, these guys have a rough going there.
Well, you see it time and time again. Those guys get done, and they have a real emotional release at the end of one of those bouts of three rounds where they're grueling it out with another man. And when they get done, they really thank the people that have helped them. And time again, you hear, "Thank you to my chiropractor," because you don't always win those things, and really it does sink in that someone's helped your body reach a potential again of maximum health. And those guys know it. They thank their chiropractors, and they know that they're in that ring again the following few weeks because of chiropractic.
Bowlers is another one. I think of a number of professional bowlers. Bowlers, golfers, a lot of these sports that are repetitive trauma, use the same side, the same motion over and over again. We know that it moves the bones in the spine out of alignment, and if you keep the spine and the hips and pelvis properly aligned, we can definitely increase performance out of the body there. I know Tiger Woods is a big fan, a big advocate of chiropractors, and he gets adjusted before every one of his tournaments.
Most certainly, and the repetitive trauma is something that people have been dealing with that are not just professional athletes. These are your factory workers, these are your teachers, this is the everyday person that has the same repetitive traumas within their life, and that's how the average person can really benefit from what chiropractic has to offer. Certainly we like to follow our professional athletes, they're icons, and when we see that they're benefiting from it, we're more apt as a population to give it a go ourselves. And we as chiropractors really like to help out every person, but it's nice to say that you helped out a professional athlete.
Right. You can definitely brag about those ones.
Absolutely.
But yeah, as far as it's for athletes, and most people know chiropractors deal with neck pain or back pain, but that's not really what we're about. It's not what a chiropractor does. Chiropractic care is for everyone. We take care of people of all ages, all shapes, all sizes, and we deal with the body's fuse box, basically, the nervous system.
And the athlete is the person that may not know all the physiology and anatomy, but they know that their body's performing better. And they know that they might not be beat up yet, but they know that the chiropractic is contributing them to keeping them healthy. And if they're healthy, their immune system's healthy, their nervous system is healthy, and they're less likely to get sick and really get out there and be able to perform at their top level.
And even with the athletes, just like I'm saying here, we take care of everyone. Chiropractic care is for anyone, all shapes, all sizes, and we even see a lot of children athletes. You know, Pop Warner football, you name it. They come in, they're hard on their spine.
Absolutely. One thing that I've certainly experienced in athletics is as you get to a higher level, people may be bigger and stronger, but they play at a little more precise game, and you don't always get the odd bumps and bruises that sometimes those kids get growing up and learning how to play those games. They fall a lot, they run into each other a lot, and it's not always the most nice falls or bumps or bruises. And those kids need care. Their bodies are growing and developing, and based on how their body is arranged and their nervous system is holding their adjustments, they're going to be able to get out there and enjoy themselves.
And that is the best time to take care of it, when they're young. When they're young, their spine is more movable, much easier to correct, much easier to take care of. If a small tree, as it starts to grow, is crooked, by the time it's a big oak tree, it's falling over. It's not doing so great.
Most certainly. Kids that are growing, their bodies are adapting, and it's a great time to really work with their body and their minds, and those things go together. I think you'll find that the kids that are getting adjusted and out in athletics and working on their physical fitness really are pushing their minds at the same time, and those are the kids that really are going to be making advances in the classroom too. They go hand in hand, and that's certainly something that I found throughout my whole life, which is the primary reason I started playing rugby when I was down at Life University. I had gone to school and played athletics for a long time, and once I found out that the academics could be handled by myself at Life, I had to get out there and really enjoy athletics. And it's something I've continued to do, and like your bowlers and golfers, I'm sure it's something I'm going to continue to do throughout my whole life. And chiropractic is going to help me do that.
And that's great to hear. And I know yourself, you've taken care of many children. You see some amazing results, not just with children athletes, but with children in general.
Yeah, one of the first stories I had where I really saw a mom change. I talked to her about the traumas of partition or giving birth. And after sitting her down and calming her down, because she was a little reluctant, she had never been to a chiropractor, it made sense to her. I adjusted her. Before I could even say anything about the trauma that her baby went through during partition, she was handing her baby directly to me, and it just made sense to her. The baby who was colicky and had trouble with gas and crying, in the next few days, over the next few adjustments, really made a change, and he has grown to be a healthy, beautiful child.
We see that one all the time too. We check countless infants in our office because the birth trauma is very hard on the infant. It can definitely cause interference or damage to the spine or the nervous system, and from there it can lead to the infantile colic or sudden infant death syndrome, failure to thrive syndrome, cerebral palsy, all sorts of different conditions, chronic ear infections, can come about from that birth trauma. So it's very, very important for new mothers to get their infants checked by a chiropractor, get their nervous system and their spine checked right after that birth trauma.
That child is ready to grow, ready to expand, and chiropractic's one of the things that's going to help them do that to their fullest potential.
And so we talk about something called subluxation. We haven't really explained that too much here. So what is subluxation?
Subluxation is a term that chiropractors use that essentially describes the interference of the nervous system. Humans have a nervous system that connects them to all their other tissues of the body. And there can be some interferences that happen in the form of chemical interference, physical, emotional, that really play a part in how you express your health. These people can go to their chiropractors and have their spines checked, have their nervous system evaluated, and change the interference that's happening in their body. And they'll know it. They won't have to ask anyone else. They're going to feel the difference.
So it's misalignments in the spine. They cause interference in the nervous system, which is, again, our master control system. That's our body's fuse box. And just like the fuse box in your house, when one of those fuses moves out of place, the power goes out to somewhere in the body, whether it's an organ, a tissue, whether it's skin or muscles. It's not getting the power, the impulses that it should be getting. That area is not able to function properly. And so with this subluxation, the body can't get its optimal performance.
And if it's left untreated, it's going to affect all the other systems of the body as well. And that's something that really needs to be fully recognized. That's why you want to bring your child to the chiropractor and get them checked at a very young age. You don't want these things to compound on one another and really continue throughout the whole child's life.
So we're talking physical, chemical, and emotional causes of this interference of subluxation. This can be caused by thousands and thousands of different things. Like we said, chiropractic is for everybody. Everybody should have their spine checked because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of ways that someone could have this interference or damage. With physical, there's the major traumas like we were talking about in athletics. There's, a car accident, a major trauma, slip and fall, all sorts of traumas that could cause interference or subluxation. But then there's also the minor micro trauma. That's the repetitive, like the bowling, like the golfing, like talking on your cell phone all day with your head kinked to the side, or typing on your computer all day with your head kinked forward, or sleeping posture, all sorts of different things. When we're sleeping, there's many, many people, and I would say of the people that I even ask, I'd say at least 30–40% of the people sleep on their stomach. When someone is sleeping on their stomach, they don't sleep straight down like this. They turn their head to the side. Tell me if someone does this for 6 to 10 hours, that their spine's going to look healthy in the morning. And they get a little stiff or sore, so what do? They turn the other way now. Now it's just all over the place. So some of these micro trauma can really, over time, affect the spine, cause all sorts of health problems, cause the immune system to decrease and not function properly.
Certainly sleep is a time where we should be recovering and letting our nervous systems cool down, so to speak, and giving our bodies a chance to recuperate. And if you're beating yourself up while you're sleeping by not sleeping with a good pillow or in some bad postures, you can wake up and be in worse condition than when you went to bed. And I think that's something that really needs to be fully recognized, especially with the amount of microtrauma that people have in their lives. Especially now that jobs have changed so much. People have a very sedentary life, often in cubicles, in chairs, driving trucks and cars, and you're not up and walking and utilizing all these movement systems that you need to utilize. And if you go home after you've been sitting all day and working at a computer and you don't give yourself a chance to unwind and recuperate during your sleep, you can really start to compound those problems over time.
And with the sitting in the cubicles, our bodies aren't made to sit for the amount of time period that we are sitting for. And
those traumas are every bit as traumatizing to the body as going out and playing a full rugby or football game.
And we're not made to sit for that long, but we're also not made, our bodies aren't designed to stand on concrete. That's why we wear shoes,
Certainly. My brother, my mother, my sister have all completed multiple marathons. And one thing that they do every single time, as soon as they're done running, is come in and see me in the office. There's a lot you can do for the body, the disc spaces, the vertebrae, the nervous system, that's really going to help you recover from that trauma. Concrete is a hard surface to run and play on. And when you compound that by the amount of time that these people spend on their feet running these long distances, sometimes they might be beating themselves up more than they're getting the health out of it. I think that there's a fine line between the two, and chiropractic can help them continue to run and enjoy do the things that they enjoy doing. Aside from the fact that they're doing it on a surface that maybe isn't as kind to their body as maybe a soft trail or grass would be.
So these are just a few of the ways that a physical trauma can lead to subluxation or interference to the nervous system, which, when properly checked by a chiropractor, can certainly be corrected. But what about the chemical and emotional things?
Well, that's when we start to get into the things that you put into your body, the foods that you eat, the chemical toxins that you come into, maybe cleaning surface chemicals of that sort, the air that we breathe in.
The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, all is carcinogenic, all has cancer-causing agents, can all cause subluxation, interference to our nervous system and our immune system because of how many toxins are around all the time. Even something healthy, depending on the quantity or quality of the things you get. You know, water, we need water to survive. That's one of the main things we need to survive. But what is it called when you have too much water? Drowning.
Absolutely.
Right? So anything taken out of proportion in the wrong amount of quantities or qualities, chemical-wise, can make changes in our system.
Most certainly, and a healthy nervous system is going to be able to expel those toxins from the body. However, a nervous system that cannot adapt to that is really going to leave those toxins in the body, and they're going to affect your body negatively. They're going to affect your health, they're going to affect your energy level, they're going to affect the amount of time it takes to recover from injuries, from sleep, and really from sleep that is not recuperative. Really, these are things that each individual needs to look at their own lifestyle and assess that for themselves. And if they don't know where to get the answers, talk to their chiropractor.
And that's a great point you made there, that healthy, properly functioning, they can expel those toxins. And that's a big misconception that people have in general with healthcare in this country, is that expelling toxins or symptoms in general are a bad thing.
Oh, no, I don't know why people would think that. No one wants to live in pain. No one wants to have bowels that are not good. People want to be able to express themselves, you know, to their fullest. They want to get out in the yards and make their garden beautiful. They want to get out and walk with their kids. They want to be able to go play softball, bowl, play golf with their buddies. And people that start to really abuse themselves with substances or with poor food or poor sleep or putting themselves in emotionally stressful situations all can affect how they perform and enjoy their life. And quality of life is what we're all shooting for here.
So people are focused on feeling good, on having no symptoms, but these symptoms are there in our body naturally in its state to expel the toxins. Each one of these symptoms is our body's way of getting rid of toxins and regulating, cleansing, and normalizing the body. Every single symptom is there for a reason.
Yeah, they can be actually helpful to the body to let you know where you need to change your lifestyle. And those things can be useful. And I think when we get into certain prescriptions, sometimes, in particular pain medicines, sometimes they may cover up the symptoms, but they don't necessarily correct the problem.
For instance, if someone sprains their ankle, the ankle's going to swell up. And that's not there so that they can't walk. It's there to tell them, you shouldn't be walking around in this right now. We got some healing to do here in the body. Leave it alone. And the pain is there, the symptom is there, so that the person will stay off of it, rest up, and it will allow that body to heal properly. Now when you go in and someone's taking all sorts of painkillers or medication there so that they don't feel that, now what first thing they're going to do is say they feel better. They're going to walk around, going to cause more inflammation, more swelling, more damage to the joint, and it's going to be bad for that person.
And I'm sure you've seen it too, Dr. Rodnick. A person with a bad ankle, Every time they step down on it, there's a closed kinetic chain between the ankle, the knee, and the hip, and the back is communicating with that closed kinetic chain. And you've seen it time and time again, I'm sure. A person with a bad ankle, sooner or later it's going to transfer to the knee and the hip, and then up the back.
Eventually they're going to have a bad spine.
Which is why you want to keep these systems working and communicating optimally.
I have a little story I'd like to share real quick before we wrap up today. There's an old Indian tribe, and this elderly Indian man, he had this horse, and everybody told him, "This is such a great horse, you're so lucky to have it." And he said, "Well, this is not a good thing or a bad thing, it just is." And one day the horse ran away, and they said, "Oh, that's so unfortunate that your horse is gone. This is the best horse." And again, he said, "It's not a good thing or a bad thing, it just is." The horse ended up coming back, and it brought 5 stallions with it. The horse came back, now he had 5 extra stallions. Wow, you're so lucky, now you got these 5 new horses. Again, he said the same thing. It's not a good thing or a bad thing, it's just what it is. Then his son was trying to train and break in these stallions, broke his leg, shattered his leg. Again, oh, so unfortunate, your son broke his leg on these. Not a good thing or a bad thing, just is.
It is what it is.
Then they went to war, the tribe went to war, got wiped out, but the son wasn't able to go to war because he had a broken leg. Again, it's how fortunate you were. It saved the son's life that this happened. Not a good thing or a bad thing.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And it's the same thing in our body. These symptoms, is not fun as they may be. They're definitely not enjoyable or fun, but it's not a good thing or bad thing. It just is what it is.
And I think you're right about that. We innately have this system because we've been dealing with toxins in our body for millions of years. So we innately are designed to expel these things from our body. It's only when we abuse our bodies that we cannot fully do this on our own.
If we have a fever, our fever is there to raise the blood temperature, raise the body temperature to kill something off. If we go ahead and take something to lower that, our body's now not able to fight on its own. It's weakening our immune system. Or we're throwing up, we're trying to get rid of some toxins that are now in our body. If we go ahead and take a bunch of pills or a bunch of medications to stop us from throwing up, we're keeping these toxins in our body to, again, poison us.
And they can further damage the body down the road.
Every symptom is set in there in stone for a reason. The Creator was extremely intelligent when we made this body. This is a very smart, very amazing machine here that has all these mechanisms to cleanse. And
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that's why we need to give that innate sort of intelligence in our body the opportunity to do what it can fully do on its own. And chiropractic gives your body a chance to do that. That's
exactly what we do in chiropractic through the nervous system, just keeping it functioning and optimal. We say that nature needs no help, just no interference. We don't want to help the body. We know that the body is so intelligent, it has these mechanisms built into it, that all we want to do is help the body out.
And you may not know all the anatomy and physiology and chemistry that goes behind it, but I'll tell you what, when you get off that table and you feel better, it just sort of makes sense to you.
And do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share? Some testimonials, something you may have experienced in your practice you'd like to share with the audience here?
Well, there's certainly a lot of people that I have to thank out there, my parents being one. They've given me the opportunity to go to school and get this degree that's furthered my education and help other people. And I think that's something that I've certainly enjoyed. Having that said, there are so many people I get to help as a chiropractor, so many different types of symptoms, problems that come into your office, and everyone always wants to group everybody in the same sort of thing, and you don't. One thing that chiropractors really do is they look at each individual for the individual. They treat each body differently, and that's something that really needs to be recognized. When you come in, you are an individual there. You don't get the same treatment as everyone else. They look at your body individually, they make changes that your body needs, and it's specific for you. You remove the subluxation specifically for that individual.
I just had one testimonial this week. I had a young woman, she's been coming in now for about a month or two only, and when she first started coming in, she said that she's only in her early 20s, so a very young woman. We found that there was many subluxations, the spine had even started to deteriorate already in her early 20s. She said that she had actually shrunk. She was a good 2 inches shorter than she used to be, and now only in her early 20s. And since she's been coming in, which is only a month, she just came in ecstatic about it the other day that she had actually grew an inch since she's been getting adjusted.
Wow. And I think I see that same thing with the marathon runners that we started to talk about. The compression of the spine through those long hours of running on the pavement, those disc spaces just get beat up. And you get some traction on that spine, you help them out, those disc spaces get rehydrated, and they're healthy again. And you will see people literally grow before your eyes, even though they're 30, 40, 50 years old.
That's how the spine basically breathes. Through proper motion, the good things like water and nutrients and vitamins get into the spinal discs, and the bad things like scar tissue and inflammation and cellular debris leave the disc. When it's locked up, it's not moving properly. When there's subluxation going on, there's misalignment choking off the nerves, putting pressure on the discs. They don't breathe properly. These discs start to degenerate, spine starts to degenerate, and again, they shrink.
Most certainly. Last time I was on the show, Adam, we started to talk about how the medical field and the chiropractic field can work together a little better. And just since that last show, I've had a testimonial that I think I'd like to share with you. I had a good friend, an athlete, who had a torn rotator cuff, something that's out of the scope of practice for chiropractors, had to have a shoulder surgery. However, during his recovery, his arm was in a sling for so long that he started to have some neuropathy into his hand. He went into his medical orthopedic surgeon, and they really didn't have too many answers for him. It was on the brink that he was going to have a second surgery for it, and he came by and checked out the office and wanted to hear what my second opinion would be. We ended up adjusting his neck, and within a week, the numbness and tingling in his hand started to go away. And he kept looking at his hand and wondering how the things in his neck were affecting his hand, even though they had nothing to do with his shoulder surgery as far as he was concerned. But it all works together. And I think that that's one instance and one great testimonial of how together this healthcare system can really help people to their fullest potential.
Certainly, and we see that definitely all the time, where we see people post-surgical that we can now help to prevent them from possibly having another surgery.
Chiropractic really has a place and a niche, and some of it is as preventative doctors, and the other is helping people that have already had some problems. And it's one way that we can really reduce the cost of the healthcare system now. I know just with a lot of the geriatric patients I have, we've done a lot for their vestibular system, which is your balance system, your proprioception, and it really helps people with their walking. And falls alone from these patients that they have not taken is reducing the cost of their medical coverage every single year. I think in the future, just as they have in the auto industry, people that do not get in accidents have lower health care. I think they're going to see the same thing in the medical field. People that get preventative care are really going to start to see a decrease in the coverage that they have as far as insurance companies go.
And they're seeing this now with Medicare, that that's why more insurances do cover chiropractic, because they know that chiropractic care will save them money. They're saving millions and millions of dollars by having people under chiropractic care, preventing long-term surgeries, preventing long-term medications, and it's saving them money.
It saves them money short-term, it saves them money long-term.
Well, I appreciate having you on the show today, Dr. Krieger.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rodnick.
Remember that God gave us the gift of life, and what we do with that gift is our gift back to God. We'll see you next time on Ask the Chiropractor. I'm Dr. Adam Rodnick, and have a great day.